Hey, everybody, welcome back to Vision Pros Live. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're in this conversation. And the reason is because on this show, we're going to introduce you to all sorts of entrepreneurs, all sorts of solopreneurs, people who have a vision. And how I define vision is a clarified story in the mind that we intend to bring forth into the physical realm. Today on the show, we have Jeff Fisher from Ride the Wave. I know this guy definitely has a vision, but before we get to that, Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Fletcher, so much for having me. It's an honor to be on.
Right on, right on. Hey, like I mentioned, we always like to start with the win, or at least I like to start with the win because I like to practice feeling good. There's a lot of stuff we can focus on that doesn't feel good, but
Yeah.
that's a waste of life energy, in my opinion. So let's start with a win. What's something that's going well in your life professionally or personally?
Professionally, we had started Wavemaker mentorship program, which is a new style one-on-one mentorship where you befriend somebody and you do not leave their side until they're out. You're sort of a passenger in their car while they drive. And recently, in just a week, Heather, who was what we call a wave rider, a mentoree, ended up getting a job in just a week, is on track to get an apartment with her and her fiance, Jose. And they've been experiencing homelessness. So it's proven in the community, and we're really building it up to be great. So that has been a recent win and a blessing professionally.
Right on. That's exciting. And that reminds me, I'm going to chime in here about a win for me too. It's similar because I'm also a mentor to a young person in our community. And actually, today, after we get done recording this, I'm taking this young person to the bank to open up his first ever checking account. And he's excited to put some money in there. And he and I have had a conversation about beginning to invest in himself financially. So he's excited to have his first ever checking account. And then we're going to open up an E-Trade account and he's going to buy his first ever share of stock so that he starts building wealth for himself.
It's so nice right there, that quality over quantity, right? Really bringing somebody up and spending that time. And that's what we're trying to replicate. And then, like a wave, branch it out.
Right on. So cool. So you have started this company, this organization called Ride the Wave, and we're going to dive into that. But first, I do want to ask you this because this is called Vision Pros. Jeff Fisher, what's your vision?
Yes, I have a pretty grand vision. We're going to build an all-inclusive modern campus for people experiencing homelessness. So university style place where you're accepted. You don't leave until you're your best self.
Whoa, okay. I got all sorts of questions.
Yep.
And I'm sure our listeners do too. So this is not, from what I read on your website, this is not just like a homeless shelter. Is that correct?
Correct. The vision is to have a place that's has the most modern facilities, but more importantly, brings down a culture of servant conscious leadership, which I've always been privy to and really loved throughout my life. Mental health strategies from a business perspective, how to be a go-giver, empowerment strategies, little things with finances too, because that's important, like how to budget it, how to balance a budget, how to not go into debt, and how to build wealth and give back. Utilizing a new style program. And we have a nice opening, actually. It's called Project Dignity, we're working on, which is going to be a 10 to 15 modular home community where we can hopefully test out successfully those principles.
That is so cool. Very inspiring. And as you were saying all this, because this is a grand vision, right?
Yes.
This is the vision out of the ordinary.
Right.
And people listening to this conversation, when they hear you talk about that, I have no doubt that many people are being like, dude, unattainable. Dude, that's not going to happen. Dude, that's overly ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that because to those people thinking that, if they're hearing me right now, I'm speaking to you.
Yeah.
Every huge successful business, I don't care what it is, Apple, Microsoft, to a mom and pop shop, in a brick and mortar in small town USA, they all started with an ambitious vision, right? I mean,
Mhm.
we have people who are private companies now who are building space rockets and going into space, taking, regular people into space. That started with an ambitious vision,
That's right.
right?
Yeah, and
So
everybody thinks something's impossible until a record gets broken, like the mile record, and then it gets broken, then everybody does it after.
yes, exactly. You got it. I enjoy this conversation. I appreciate this conversation because it's challenging us to look at our limited thinking, right?
Mhm.
And because even when I was reading through your website, I mean, I could hear my thinking like, well, that's ambitious.
Yes,
Well,
definitely.
they're going to have some hurdles to jump through. That was my initial thinking. And why I'm admitting that is because I want people to hear that that type of thinking is automatic. Like that was what my brain brought forth
Right.
for
Yeah,
me.
exactly. It kind of goes right to that negative, it can't be done, or a doubt.
Exactly. So I'm a very optimistic and very positive person, right? I'm in the coaching space.
I can
But
tell.
what I want people to hear is that even like my brain has these tendencies to think negatively or think doubtfully or skeptically as
Mhm.
a default, right? Now,
Yeah.
fortunately, I'm practicing catching that so I can hear like, oh, that's my programming. That's not me. And what I want to think and believe instead of that is Jeff Fisher and his vision are incredible. And I know that there are ways for that to occur if he's absolutely committed to it. And so, again, I'm making this about the listeners right now, Jeff. I'm aware of that. But again, listeners, you're listening to this podcast, Vision Pros, because it's about visions. It's about having a vision and bringing that clarified story from the head into the physical realm, and that's what Jeff Fisher's doing. He's working on it. So we can all send him good vibes, send him good energy, send him money, and I don't know, connect with him. See if you're interested in this, if this is lighting you up, connect with Jeff and see how you can get involved with his vision and help him bring it into the physical realm. Yeah?
Fletcher, I love how deep you're going, and I can feel the energy.
Good, man. Good. So I want to hear what's going on right now. Like what are you excited about in this business and what's next?
Yeah, absolutely. And you nailed it, right? Big undertaking. How are we going to get there? So, just to give you a little bit of my background, I own a process equipment company, NCK Equipment. Nicole, Kristen, and Kathleen, the owner, the founder, named it after his three daughters. He was a really great guy, very good influence on me. And I was trying to get to the bottom of the culture of the company. And one of the things Ray and I, who the owner was, used to say is, "You riding the wave? Yeah, you're riding the wave." And we were doing great on sales. So it came to me while I was acting out certain principles in the community. I myself am a Christian, and then after I had some encounters with people I normally wouldn't, friendships. The catalyst, though, when I was walking across the street from where my mom lives, there's a convenience store. I was getting something to drink. Long story short, saw a van that was beat up. It's been there. I used to ride my bike around there. I saw it there a couple of days. Felt a wave come over me, something to call me to check on the person in the van. And when I did, John Gordon, Jon Gordon, if you go to johngordon.com, is a great servant, positive leadership. NFL's first, I think Dabo Sweeney in Clemson was his first relationship. Really great guy who's a supporter as well. I do a one word every year. So that one word was encourage. And Daryl, I encouraged him, fueled him with encouragement, changed both our lives. That's why we're here. I wrote a book called Wavemaker. It's a repurposed story of my interaction with Daryl, followed by principles to teach others how to approach people in the street or have similar interactions they normally wouldn't. Radiate positivity and how to do that.
Ooh.
The art of asking questions. The art
Mm.
of questions are so important to understand how to ask them, to get out stories and to be able to get flooded with various information from people, because the value is, and that's why our tagline is, The path is to the person. It's not even in technology. It's where you get and grow through someone's spirit, and you listen and gain knowledge. So we're trying to connect people with all the distractions that are out there. The book revenue, and also we have a podcast, Ride the Wave podcast, has gone from 0 to 100K subscribers in a little over 6 months. I went guns blazing, Fletcher. I went all out. Soon as I went to Ramsey Solutions, Entree Leadership, and I met Ken Coleman, chased him down the hallway to share this thing, realized it could operate at a high level, and I have not stopped.
Wow. That's inspiring. I really, really appreciate that. Hey, I like to recap certain things that catch my attention so that our audience hears it. You said inspire, what did you say? Get curious, like the art of asking questions, and there was inspire what?
So there was radiate positivity, art of asking questions. The other one was nerves. Oh, sorry, I might not have said it. Nerves are normal, because one of the things there with Daryl is I did feel a certain way. I pushed through nerves to get there. So it's a set of principles, because later there was a discovery with a formula, and that was the first vision. The first vision I had was training courses, and then it expanded from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all right. So radiate positivity. And by the way, this isn't just like fake positivity. This is like, an optimism, right? This trust and belief that things are going to work out. And you may not know how they're going to work out, right? It may not even look like they're going to work out, but there's this trust that that is going to work out for our greatest evolution. Yeah. Radiate positivity, get curious, learn the art of asking questions, right? Learn those phrases. Oh, tell me more about that. Help me understand that, right? This is how we create massive relatedness. This is where impact begins, right?
Yes, I like that word. Yeah, that's a great way of describing it. It really is. It opens up, and it's basically breaking a barrier. You break a barrier into something, and the relationships that I've been developing, normally I would just pass by, not because I felt a certain way or was negative about that person, pretty optimistic. It would be because I just didn't think anything of it. I was in the zone, but the value has just changed my life.
Yeah, I can believe that. And you know what? You've probably become, tell me if this is accurate. Have you become much more practiced at approaching and talking to people?
Yeah, I mean, it's a social skill. There's an
Yes.
intelligence to it that you start to get, where you can see people, you can see in their eyes, when you connect with them, you could tell by their smile. Yeah, you begin to naturally develop sort of a way to read the room.
Yes. And the
The
reason
more
I'm
you
calling that out is because a lot of people hearing this, they may have a default thought, right? Without their permission, it just shows up. Oh, I couldn't do that. No, no, no. What I want you to hear is what Jeff said. That first conversation he had with the guy, with I think it was Daryl in the van.
Yeah, he was a person that I met. Literally a week later, we went in a library to film the first show, or
Right
record it. Yeah,
on.
exactly.
So, and you heard Jeff say there was a level of discomfort, but he pushed through it. There were nerves, right? And those nerves are nothing negative. They're not bad. They're just telling you to pay attention, right? They're paying like, hey, be alert. You know, your body is always telling you there might be danger, right? It's natural. But what I want you to get is that yes, it might be uncomfortable at first, but the more you practice this type of engagement, the more comfortable you become, the more proficient you become, and there's a greater sense of certainty around it. I think the more certain we become about this, the more capable we become, the more proficient, and the more confident. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. For those people out there, maybe some young people that play video games a lot, I think if you were to look at life a little bit, in a sense, it would be too easy to just go through and maneuver. You'd have to
Mm.
go through certain obstacles and challenges to get to the next level. There's no better game than life, because you can feel it, you can 3D it, you get into every aspect of it. If you tap into that, and not only that, you put service on top of it and
Yeah.
you treat people kind, wait till the wave takes you.
Yeah. Love that. Yes. Be a source of kindness, be a source of contribution. When you practice those two things, yeah, like you said, the wave takes off, things begin to radically change in your life.
Yeah, it's like a
So good.
snowball. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes. This is my kind of conversation, Jeff, and I just want to appreciate you. Thank you for being that source of kindness and contribution in our world. Thank you for getting out of your comfort zone so that others can discover their potential and live a feel good life and make a difference for others. This is exciting. To me, this is what life's all about. So
Thank you, Fletcher. It's been an honor. And
yeah.
I really enjoyed this time.
Yeah. If somebody wants to find out
Mhm.
about your work, how to connect with you, or maybe be on your podcast, or maybe get you on their podcast, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Best thing to do is go to our website, ridethewave.org, O-R-G. Everything's there. You'll have the podcast, you'll have the books. There's a children's book that just came out. It's there. I haven't really released it publicly, but anything, all our social media, you can find it on the website. It's a good hub for it. And the contact page, if you fill it out, it'll come directly to me and Javon, the CEO,
Yeah.
and podcast co-host. So just let it rip.
Yeah. One more question I thought about. Are there currently needs that your business has that people where they might be able to plug in, or tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, thanks, Fletcher. Right now, in order to build trust in the community and fill an essential gap, right now we're looking for a van or an SUV because the problem is people are not able to get to their appointments and they're expected to be there, but they have to walk miles. They're tired. They're hungry. And there's really not affordable, really efficient transportation. So in town, we're going to create a taxi service called Wave Transportation. And
Mm,
eventually that'll connect to the campus when it's up, because then they'll be able to connect to the Wave mentors for rides and also bring people back and forth to the campus. So,
cool.
something like that, we could really, really use some contribution,
Yeah.
whether it be a van or SUV or some donations. That would be a blessing.
Right on. Okay. Yeah. Connect with Jeff, get involved. If this is touching your heart. Again, thank you, Jeff Fisher, for being on the show. And it's time for you now to get out there, be a source of kindness, be a source of contribution. You do have something to offer this world, and I believe in you.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.